Hi everyone. This is going to be my last video about our first admission for IVs. Can't say it's been the best experience. I didn't expect it to be easy. And I think a lot of people might be thinking, oh, well, she's got CF, what did you expect? There's lots of hospital visits, hospital stays, blah, 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 blah. But as a first admission, and what we've learnt, things were not done as they should have been done. And it's definitely shown me that there is absolutely no guidance, no support, and like I say, clear guidance on what to expect in a first admission. And it's not even, there should be some kind of guidelines of what to expect and kind of the process. It's difficult because obviously every hospital, every trust is different in the way that they do things. But it's speaking to everybody sort of on Instagram, and I mean, I spoke to a lot of people, and when everybody's saying the same thing, and for everybody's from different trusts, different hospitals, it showed me that there is an actual sort of set guide on what is supposed to happen, and it wasn't done from the get-go. It wasn't, there was no plan, not as far as I'm aware anyway. Definitely, if you're going in for a first admission, ask to see the plan. What is the plan? Are they going to put in a line, an extended cannula line? Are they going to put in a PICC line? They are different, and I never knew that until this experience. Then, are they going to sedate? And I would highly recommend that if you have a toddler, that this is the first time, sedation is the way to go. Because I am now struggling to think, Amelia is 18 months old, and now you can see in her face, when we go back to the hospital, the fear that she's been through the last 10 days, 11 days. You can definitely tell it's affected her. The trauma from them keep cannulating normal cannulas in her feet. She was having a new cannula every day, and when it got to having the 5th cannula, I started to kind of think, hang on, is this right? Because and then I'm thinking, we're only halfway through. We are only halfway through this. And she's being normal, like what we have when we have babies, and, in the back of your hand and stuff, but in her feet. And of course, because they have antibiotics 3 times a day, it's going to wreck the vein, attack the vein very quickly, which is why she was going through the the cannulas so quickly. There was nothing permanent. Okay, I hold my hands up that she had the line, an extended cannula line. It's called a short long line she had in first off. And I asked about sedation. Sedation was kind of like more of an inconvenience for them because she has to stop eating. They have to have a certain staff work out the dose for that, for her weight, blah, 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 blah. It seemed like that was an inconvenience, whereas now I wish I'd have stood my ground and said, no, you're not doing this if you're not sedating her. And I really, really, I'm punishing myself for not standing up from the get-go. But when you are faced with a situation like CF, we've not been through this before. I've not been through this before. Yes, I have family members that have got CF, but that is not affecting me in my close family. the way it would my auntie and uncle, etc. You know, you don't realise. And this is the first time we've been through this first admission at 18 months old, and they don't tell you, they don't show you a guide. Some hospitals might, but definitely as a learning curve, I did not know options, and I wasn't made aware of any plan, or they just said they're going to put a line in. And saying that is quite an open thing to say, I think, personally, because now obviously going through the process, there's a lot of things that could have been. It could have been a PICC line, it could have been the short long line, it could be a long line cannula, it could be, there's so many options. So ask the questions, ask to see the plan, ask to know, okay, what to do next. So Amelia went in on the Friday, they put the short long line in with just numbing cream. And it makes me quite emotional, sort of thinking that how much pain she would be in. There were 6 people holding her down. I was in tears. Tony was in tears. She was absolutely beside herself, and I thought, you know, it's her first time going through this. Yes, she's had needles. Excuse me. Yes, she's had needles before, but nothing like this. Like, this is going into her vein, up her vein, and she's been pinned down by people who don't even know her. They tried the bloody a pad and things. She is a child who, yes, she watches telly and she watches films, like Disney films and things like that, but she doesn't have much. She doesn't have a pad or anything like that. Like, that's my son. You know, we tried singing to her, we tried everything, but I feel like they didn't try persistently. They just kind of saw her and was like, oh, this ain't gonna work, so we'll stop. There was no relationship, there was a play person in there, but there was no, you know, what does she like, what's this, what's that. They just put like Mr. Tumble on, and she doesn't know Mr. Tumble. She likes Bing, she likes Peppa Pig, and I kept saying, have you got any Bing, have you got any Bing? But because there was so much screaming from her, she couldn't hear me. It was so traumatic, I'm not even joking. And if I could go back now, we always say hindsight is a great thing, but I wish I'd have stood my ground with sedating her, because I just knew your mummy instinct, your parent instinct, you know that you know your child, you know them, and I just knew that she is going to put up a fight, and she, rightly so, you know, and I'm thinking, if this was me, I'd be the same. I'd be like, at least put some local in, or, you know, something to numb her arm. But no, nothing. And I just keep thinking how much pain she would have been in, to be honest. Like I said at the beginning, I knew it weren't going to be an easy ride. I knew it. But there becomes a time when you're not listened to as a parent, and you're the one that's going to have to watch her go through it, and then she's going to go through it herself. Then they started putting in, then they put the short long line in. She went for an x-ray to make sure it was in the right place. Then she did 4 days. Friday. Oh, hang on. 5 days with that short long line in, and she didn't touch it. She didn't try and pull it off. She didn't, you know, she wasn't bothered by it. She was still using her arm. We were going in and out. We were coming home, and it was like, yes, you know, if it stays like this, we can get through it. No problem. So I was really feeling really on top of the world with how things were going, and the line was doing brilliant. And the Tuesday night, the nurse came in, and there was a bit of the line hanging out, the extended line, where they put the fluid in, you know, the cannulated bit. They put an extension on it to, you know, be able to wrap it up and things. And they didn't wrap it up enough or tight enough. And she pulled it out. She pulled the line out of her arm. And I thought, no. You know when you just want to go back in time, like quick, press rewind. And I just thought, here we go. This is where it's going to get bad. So Tuesday night, 10 o'clock, we need to recannulate her. Right, okay. Normal cannula. So I thought, right, okay. They said this was a temporary measure for getting another line in. You know, whilst we wait for them to come and put another line in her arm and we can proceed. Again, I brought up sedation. Will you sedate her? I didn't get an answer. I just got a look of, And it was always about staffing, and it was always about staffing issues. Oh, well, because she's so strong and, you know, we're taking all of that staff off of the ward. Well, surely there's a way around that. Sedate her. You know, I know there's other risks. I'm not stupid. I know there's other risks with sedating a small child. They've not had it before. They don't know. Could cause further complications or whatever. But for this is not just a one-off. This is her life. And this is her first time. So you are learning as well as we are learning about her. And you have blatantly seen that she was an absolute wreck when she got on that table. I can't even describe it to you, to be honest. It's just like, it's traumatized myself and my partner, and I'm pretty sure it's traumatized Amelia as well. So we went to 1 cannula, then it went to 2 cannulas, then it went to 3 cannulas, then it went to 4, and then we needed to put a 5th in. And I was like, it's not happening. We're not putting any more in. She wouldn't stand on her feet. Obviously, she wouldn't be able to have shoes on. It got to the point where she was not playing, kind of picking at her food. And it wasn't the fact that her belly was off. It was the fact of the trauma of holding her down every single time to do a cannula, and then them attacking her feet. Because they knew if they go in the back of her hands... Oh, well, they did try and go in the back of both hands at the same time. She was stabbed about 5 times at once, but they couldn't get a vein. And then until they brought this other doctor in, who... Then there was another 6 staff in the room trying to get a normal cannula in. And I thought, you lot could be helping putting a line in. But what do I know? Again, what do I know? So, when that last one went, this was Sunday morning, Saturday morning, Sunday morning. Oh, we need to recannulate. I said, you're absolutely not. You are not doing that. Unless it's a line, and unless she is sedated, it's not happening. So then anyway, they was like, oh, okay, well, we need to find the staff because it's a Sunday. That's fine. You go and find the staff then. And part of me was kind of like, you know, I think you need to hold off. But I was like, you know, I need to stand my ground with this. And they're not doing it. They're absolutely wrecking her, traumatizing her medically. It's not fair. Even some nurses that were coming in were saying, I hate it when they do this. And I says, but this is a condition. This isn't just a one-off. This is going to happen again, but it's not going to happen again because I'll have more to say about it. So they tried. So we came home, didn't even take that cannula out. So she had the broken cannula in her foot all day Sunday. We came back in for 3 o'clock. We had to put some cream on her. And they were going to try and put another line in. And obviously it was unsuccessful because she was so distraught that this was happening again in the same room. It keeps happening. A lady actually popped her head in. She must have been some kind of high up doctor or something. But she must work on the other side because they've got like two sides to the ward. And she popped her head in and she says, yeah, I think it's best that you stop because you're not gonna get anywhere and you're just traumatizing her. And I thought, bloody hell, you're the first person to come in and say that, you know. The doctor, you could tell she didn't really feel very comfortable, very confident. It just came across like that. So anyway, then we looked at each other and me and Tony, I mean, we looked at each other because they asked us, well, what do you want us to do? And I said, well, you're not putting another cannula in, because she did suggest another cannula. And I said, no, I'm not doing it. And then they said, oh, we can put an IM in. And Tony turned around and was like, well, what's an IM? And they were like, oh, it's basically it's an injection. And we'll do it injection form. In the top of her leg, like her vaccinations. And I says, right, we'll do that to get through tonight. But tomorrow, I want to see a plan. And I want to see her consultant. So anyway, they'd still got the old cannula in. They hadn't even been able to take it out. So we got back to the room. The nurse came. She gave the cannula another flush to see if it was going to take the antibiotic, but she already said that it had broken, so no. So Amelia cried again because it was stinging and stuff and hurting. Took the cannula out. She come back with the injection. And there's like 3 of them. And I'm like, bloody hell, for one injection? Yeah, it needs to go in the top of her legs. But we've split it down into 2. So it's 2 injections, one at the same, one in each leg. Like, you've just told me it's 1 injection. Now you're telling me it's 2 injections, 1 in each leg. So anyway, I just... When you're in that moment, you don't know what to do for the best. And you're looking at these medically trained nurses and staff and thinking, you should be advising me what you think I should be doing. I have never been in this situation before. Never, ever. And yet, you are literally... they did the injections, and that was the breaking point, because she was inconsolable for ages. After she'd just gone through the trauma of them trying to put another line in. She tried to do it twice, so stabbing her twice again. I knew this wasn't going to be easy, I knew it, but I just wish I'd have known something to do with first admission. I really do. There's some kind of guidance, what to ask, what's going to happen, what should be happening, It just felt like I just was talking to a brick wall, and helpless, literally. And as a mum, I knew that I was going to feel helpless when she was going through these things and, having a blood test or, things like that, x-rays and all that jazz. I knew that it was going to happen. I knew. But I wasn't aware of to ask to see the plans and to see things like that. And I feel like they failed on a little part. And I am looking into changing hospitals, because it's not only this that's kind of sort of tipped me a little bit, but I've been asking for a while, a good 4 or 5 months, for them maybe to try Amelia with a nebulizer. And I kept saying at the clinics, can we try a nebulizer? Like, what will that do? And I've been being told she doesn't need it. But this cough was not going, and she was struggling to move her mucus to the point of where she was like throwing up almost, like really gagging on whatever she was trying to move, because she was coughing that much. for a wonderful team from the main CF hospital to come in to a clinic session on Thursday whilst we was in and say she needs a nebulizer. And, you know, there's just been too many fails, I'm sorry, on their side. It's so hard to get her to be seen. You know, it's a constant battle when she's poorly. It's like, oh, give her a few days, give her a few days, give her a few days. I'm like, I'm not one of those mums that I'm like, oh my God, she's coughing, I need to ring like right now. I'm like, right, we'll see how she gets on, see if she can shift it herself, you know, and just, she eats healthily, she gains weight really well, and we're really lucky with that side of things. And she's generally really well with the CF. It was just this cough just did not want to shift. And she'd had it all winter. And then I'm seeing, you know, a lot of the CFers out there who are really struggling with winter bugs, even more so this winter just gone, because we've all been locked up and everybody seems to have been struggling with the winter that we've just had. So, you know, I give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm not jumping straight on them saying, oh my God, she's got a cough. I'll keep an eye on her temperature. I'll keep an eye on, you know, how much she's coughing. If I can see anything, you know, is it loose? Is it, you know, everything that we were taught in the beginning to look out for. I do all of those things before I contact them, you know? And it's just so difficult. So there's been too many failures on their part. And I think this has just tipped it and just pushed it over the edge, to be honest. So I would like to, once I've got my thoughts together, is to put together some kind of piece, Word document or something that I feel would help other people with their first admissions. Because like I say, I've been talking to a lot of the a few hundred people on my Instagram now, and you know, the amount of people that I was talking to the whole time that we was in, and they're like, this is not right, they should not be doing this. And even CFers themselves, older CFers, this is not right, they shouldn't. Why has my phone just done that? This is not right, they should not be doing this. And it's like, well, how, where is the guideline, you know? And I know everybody with CF is different. Some people go in for something called tune-ups. I don't know what that is. Some people go in for IVs. Some people, I don't know. Like, I don't know. But I feel like nobody was prepared to tell us the guide, you know, what you should expect, what's going to be happening, what, you know, is there any wishes of yours? Is there, you know, actually have a sit down conversation and say, okay, she needs to go in for IVs. That's all they said. I broke down because, oh my God, you know, you feel responsible as a mum, you know, but I think as well, you know, we've avoided this for 18 months, you know, I think we've done pretty well, so pat on the back for that. But with some children, you know, they can't help it, and they have to go in earlier and things like, you know, whatever. But yeah, I just wish that there was some kind of guidance somewhere. So I am going to actually talk to one of the people that I've been talking to from the CF Trust. I'm going to bring up with her, look, this was our first admission. There was absolutely no support, no guidance, no whatsoever. And like I say, I've been talking to the Instagram people, and they all are telling me exactly the same thing, but they're not all from the same hospital. So, you know, the path for caring for somebody with cystic fibrosis who needs to come in for IVs is the same, you know? So yeah. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed the little videos that I've been doing. Like I say, this is the last one, and then I am going to type up some Word document, some kind of, I don't know, like a blog or, you know, something to set out what I feel that you need to ask and be made aware of first off. So yeah, thank you ever so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope to be doing more of these as well. So just keep your eye out.